Imagine waking up from a dream so vivid, so painfully real that your body still bears the marks of it. Now imagine opening your eyes and realizing the nightmare never left. It simply followed you into the waking world. I was buried under my blanket, clutching it like a child afraid of the dark. My head pressed against the mattress, but through the thin fabric of the sheets, I saw him, a tall, shadowy figure standing in the corner of my room, his outline darker than the night itself. My heart hammered, sweat trickled down my temple as he inched closer, each step deliberate, silent, suffocating. His tentacles slid across the floor, twisting unnaturally, reaching out, not to touch me, but to consume me. I tried to sink deeper into the mattress, to vanish into the bed, but the faceless being towered over me. His body was long, lean, skeletal, like a man stretched too far, pulled apart by something otherworldly. He leaned close, and I shut my eyes tight, praying it would stop, praying I would wake up. But then came the pain. A searing slash in my leg forced my eyes open. One of his black tendrils was cutting into me, carving something. I flinched, but couldn't move, couldn't scream. Fear rooted me in place. When I finally jolted awake, drenched in sweat, I realized it wasn't the first time. It was that same nightmare again. I stumbled into the kitchen, still trembling, and grabbed the first mug I could find. I shoved it under the coffee machine with shaking hands. The sound of dripping coffee filled the silence. I was furious at myself, angry that I couldn't escape it, angry that I couldn't fight back. "You're mad, I know," Emily said softly from across the room, her voice uncertain. "But maybe it's not so bad. You know, most of your plans don't work anyway." I stomped the floor and paced like a caged animal. "I need to call Jake. I've got an idea this time. Oh, wait, I need to show you something." I rushed across the room and threw my leg up on the chair. Pulling up my pant leg, I revealed it. A deep cut, still raw, spelling out the word Slender in perfect cursive. Emily's eyes widened. "What the?" I pulled my pants back down and shook my head, frustration boiling over. "I can't believe it." I forced a giggle, trying to shake the weight pressing down on me, and grabbed my coffee. "Get me the phone," I barked. Emily ran into the living room, her footsteps echoing. I collapsed into a wooden chair, staring at the wall. Then her scream cut through the air. "Ah!" My body froze. I bolted into the living room. Nothing. She wasn't there. Panic clawed at me as I dashed upstairs. In my room, Emily stood, stiff as a statue. A camera lay shattered on the floor at her feet. "What happened?" I demanded. "Nothing, nothing," she said too quickly, her voice unnervingly calm. I bent down, picking up the camera. "Are you sure you're okay?" "Yes," she snapped, irritated now. But her eyes looked empty, hollow. I wanted to push, but my chest felt heavy. I sighed, backing off. "Fine." Later, Jake arrived. Jason, too. He was the best with cameras, and I needed proof. Proof that what I saw wasn't just a nightmare. Proof that Slender was real. Jason laughed at my room. Bright sky blue walls covered in pink and purple peace sign stickers, a neon green rug, peace pillows and sheets. Too childish for what we were dealing with.
I set one camera up there. I pointed at the corner of the ceiling above my bed, and another facing the door. Jason gave me a curious look. Want to tell me why? Maybe later, I teased, though my voice cracked under the weight of my fear. That night, the dream returned, except this time, Slender didn't cut me. This time, he turned and walked out of my room. I trembled as I followed him down the hall. The cold air wrapped around me like icy hands. When he turned, I finally saw it. His face, hidden beneath a mask. Not faceless after all. A pale blank mask with faint ridges where a nose should be. Then he slipped silently into Emily's room. "No!" I screamed, and suddenly I was back in bed, panting, drenched in sweat. I raced down the hall to Emily. She sat hunched on her bed, rocking back and forth, paler than a ghost. "I had that dream too," she whispered. I swallowed hard. "I know. I saw him go into your room." She lifted her arm slowly. Carved into her skin, the word Slender, jagged and cruel. My chest caved in. The cameras, the proof. I scrambled to my laptop, yanked it open, and hit play on the footage. Static filled the screen, but then there he was, tall, impossible, drifting into my room. He leaned over me, then static again, and finally the footage of me following him out of the room. I slammed the laptop shut, gasping, "It's not a nightmare, it's real!" Emily stared in silence, her lips trembling. "What do we do?" I whispered. "The pages. In the game, he wants you to find pages. If we find them, maybe he'll go away." "But doesn't it get worse each time you collect one?" she asked. I nodded. A cold shiver crawled up my spine. "Then it'll get worse. Much worse." We searched for hours, tearing through drawers, flipping through papers, and then I found one, a page folded neatly, hidden away. I opened it, and there he was, a sketch of Slender Man himself. "I found a page!" I shouted. But then, before I could blink, it vanished from my hands, just gone. Emily burst into the room. "What happened?" I muttered, staring at my empty hand. Maybe it was starting. Maybe this was the first step. By 3 a.m., exhausted and trembling, I collapsed on my bed. My leg itched where the word Slender had been carved. Hours searching, only one page found, and it was gone. I let my eyes close, ready for the nightmare to return. When I woke, the first thing I felt was relief. My leg was smooth again, no mark, no cut. Perfect skin. I screamed in disbelief. "It was all a dream!" I shouted, nervously laughing. "It was all just a dream!" But then, from the corner of the room, a whisper coiled through the silence, a voice that wasn't mine, wasn't Emily's, low, cold, inhuman. "Dreams don't leave scars."